Neil, congratulations. How
Thank
does it
you.
feel to be Kilmarnock manager?
I said yesterday, I'm very proud to be given the opportunity. I know this would have been a highly coveted job. I mean, a lot of people would have expressed an interest in it to take it, and I know the position that we find ourselves in is a difficult one right now. And you look at the form that we've been on, very aware that we've not won in 14. But I didn't have any hesitation. I think when I left the Rangers job, it really ignited the fire to get back involved in football at the sharp end. I love the media stuff that I do. I do it in a way that it's always from a football perspective, in terms of try to be constructive or look at the game tactically. And I've got a very big ambition of coming to Kilmarnock to turn things around with Billy. Brought Billy in because he's a first-class coach, first-class guy, and I think he'll have a brilliant impact in the dressing room. So when it came about, the interview process, I was absolutely delighted that I took a call to say that I'd been offered the opportunity to take us forward, and there was no hesitation in that.
How long had you been looking to get back in? Obviously you were part of the Rangers coaching staff towards the tail end of last season, but was it just that maybe sparked that, or longer term?
No, I've always, you know, when I left Dundee, you know, I was so thankful for that opportunity at the time. And it's not direct similarities, but when I went into Dundee from my previous job of working with Sky, that was a team that was really on their backs in terms of their run of defeats. There were 7 defeats. They just lost to Aberdeen 7-0. They were in a real poor position, and a lot of people question why I'd be wanting to come out of the position of what I was doing then, or whether I was even capable. But even when I stopped playing, I went and did all my licences, because I always felt that ambition of being in the front end it would never leave me. And as much as I love the media stuff, there's nothing, if you're a football guy, there's nothing beats being the side of the pitch. So that kind of accelerated even when I left Dundee, took the Inverness job. I was going into something different, which has completely helped a different aspect of how I see football, the consultancy within the agency world. But always with a sharp eye of that feeling of an opportunity to come up to get back in. So the Rangers thing is the most recent that reignited that, and those opportunities came in the back of that I didn't feel maybe were quite right at the time, or details just wasn't the right thing. But when this came up, I wasn't even interested in where the club are sitting. I was looking at the opportunity. I believe that Kilmarnock's got a bright future. Billy and the board are putting a lot of money into the club to secure its future with a new training ground. We're going back to grass, which is brilliant. This isn't a help to us or anybody else, and we've got to deal with that. But the good news is, one of the best pitches that I've ever played on was always Rugby Park back in the day, and Gal here will be delighted about going to Winmores for next season. So looking ahead for the club, it's so important that we stay in the Premiership. That's up to me, Billy, the rest of the staff and the group of players in there to make sure that we start making that look more positive.
We've seen over the last few years what can really be possible at this club. What are your ambitions for your time here?
My ambitions for my time right now is to make an impact in my dressing room that we find ourselves in right now. I've got no long-term plans, because I don't think we're in a luxury of that position to look too far ahead. You mentioned there about there's been terrific managers who have found great success here, and I've leaned on every single one of them since taking the job. Jim Jeffries has been in touch, Stevie Clark, Derek McInnes, guys that I feel that I can completely relate to in terms of their personalities, what they can offer. They've done great things here at the club. So the view is right now it has to be completely laser focused. That's Livingston at the weekend. Of course, I've got an eye on what we would like to do here as a football club. But as I said to the boys in the dressing room yesterday, I completely believe the previous job before this one was analysing football, was analysing performances, analysing individuals and teams. I think I can improve the group, and I think that the boys have been in a lot of games, like Livingston who we'll face on Saturday, and there's details that are costing us. So what's gone's gone, and this is a new page moving forward.
Neil, the the run you mentioned, obviously 40 games without a win. How do you turn that round, and do you feel that you've got the answers in the building, or do you think this team maybe needs some reinforcements?
Well, I believe I've got answers in the building. I think if the boys are honest, they've underperformed to what they're capable of giving. That's not through lack of effort, but sometimes when, as a footballer, I can completely understand, and every footballer will tell you that when things are against you, sometimes you maybe take an easy route or something. I want the boys to play with a wee bit of freedom, a wee bit of bravery. It's up to us to allow bravery to happen. We need a wee bit of structure in place behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is if I'm asking boys to take risk in the final third to try and get those goals, cover the goals that's going to give us wins, then I've got to make sure that we're doing our work as a coaching staff is to give information to the group behind it. You know, we're solid enough that we can allow the guys in the final third to go and take risk. So that's how you arrest it, but it's them that arrest it on the pitch. No matter what we do as a coaching team, when they cross the line, they've got to do their job, and I think at times maybe they've maybe just made bad decisions, and it's just trying to eradicate them. I think there's success stories all over the league. This is a strange year this year, a very strange year. There's teams performing fantastically well and surprised everybody. We're in a position right now that is not comfortable. I don't like being uncomfortable, so we've just got to prove that hard work will bring us results, tangible results. I know the fans have found it really frustrating, but I just completely want the fans to re-engage with the team. And the only way we're going to do that, to get them to re-engage with the team and get fully behind us, because I think they have supported as well, but get more of them coming back into the grounds, is by winning games.
You come straight into a pretty big game, as you mentioned, at Livingston on the weekend. Even this early in the season, how big a game is that? How important to lift that gloom and get that win to stop it?
It's 3 points. As I told you, what's happened before is gone. Doesn't matter. I'm not looking at the table right now and thinking, all right, this is a must-win game. This is a huge game. Everybody else, and there'll be fans, our own fans will say, oh, it's a must-win game. I understand the importance of it. But every 3 points, as Dundee have proved in the last 3 games, it can make such a difference no matter who you're playing. Whether it be teams running about you, whether it be teams at the top of the table, it's the same 3 points, it's the same level of performance you have to give in to get those 3 points. So I'm looking at it as a fresh table right now.
You said you spoke to the squad yesterday in the dressing room. What was the general feeling from the squad when you spoke to them? Do you feel like you saw enough self-belief in that team to know they'll get
it's way too early to talk about what because we were only in the door yesterday. I'm not sure how delighted they were that I took the day off them yesterday, but they understand it when I explained to them why I had to get them in yesterday, because it's so important that we've got such a small amount of time before Saturday, that it was really important that we got them in and just had a wee chat to them, got to know them as well personally. It's alright knowing somebody from the outside, but it's going to take a far greater time than one day to get to know personalities. But they completely engage with what we were talking about yesterday. The enthusiasm that Billy will bring, Clarkie, all the boys behind the scene, is going to be so important. But again, they just need to find a wee bit of inner belief to know why they're in this position at a Premiership football club, playing for Kilmarnock, that they're good enough to get results. So we just need to pull it all together.
And I wonder, what assurances did you get before taking the job that there's a budget there to help add to the squad?
Didn't ask for assurances. As I said earlier, this job is a very good job to me, and yes, they're going to work hard behind the scenes to try and get help to the dressing room, but there was no assurances and no guarantees, and I can't force that upon Kilmarnock right now. I've just got to take it as what we've got at our disposal right now to show that we can coach and manage this group to the point where they start winning games again. Yes, we hope to get people in. The board have assured me that they'll work to do that, but there's no guarantees that will happen, and I can't have those guarantees because, as everybody in this room knows, and every manager will tell you, January transfer window does not guarantee you what you're after.
We live in an era where managers don't get much time in terms of fans and fan pressure, and some fans make their mind up before even the manager starts it.
Yeah.
You see the fans you talk about getting fully behind the team, any fans are very sceptical of your appointment. How do you get them
I don't read social media. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. As long as my boys in the dressing room are engaging in what I'm giving them in the training field, results will dictate that. Completely dictate that. I've been given a huge vote of confidence by a board to come and take the reins. I think I must have done enough to give them the confidence to do that within the interview process. In my past experiences going into Dundee, going into Inverness, time before that with Jim Jeffries at Dunfermline during that very difficult period, and of course at Rangers. I fully believe in myself, but again, I'm not pumping my own tyres up here. It's going to be real hard work in terms of what we're going to try and achieve. Time will tell where they're going to get the results.
You mentioned the time of Dundee when you were in and had an impact. What did it take then that you can transfer it to this similar situation?
Hard work, information. It's all about players, completely about the players in terms of what they do on the pitch. We can affect that by information, but when it boils down to it, it's just, for this group, I just feel it's getting that first win. We get our first win, I think we'll catch fire.
How's the squad looking for salaries and team raising?
Good, aye. We've got a few issues in terms of injuries, the long-termers. There have been a few long-termers out, but it's strong. I think I've got 20 odd players training today, so that's great for numbers. Gives us a good look at everybody early on. Next couple of days will determine who we've got available for Saturday.